Hey guys, welcome to the Meters channel. Today we're going to be going over how I make crispy beef fat in the air fryer. So just a little public service announcement. Just want to let everyone know that I wasn't always a big fan of fat. In fact, I was repulsed by it. I would always trim the fat off of a steak. If I even ate steak, I don't even think I would eat steak like even once a year. And I always opted for the skinless chicken breasts. So, like, getting to this stage where I'm at now, where I eat fat every single day, has been a huge accomplishment, and I now know the importance of consuming healthy, good quality animal fats. So it's really changed my entire perspective on how I see fat. I no longer fear fat, and I know that personally for me, fat is fuel. And I feel my best when I consume a diet that is a little bit more on the higher on the fat side. So we're gonna make some crispy beef fat today. All you need is beef fat from your local butcher or farmer, and I do suggest that you get some grass-fed beef fat and an air fryer. Right here I have beef fat that I already chopped up. But when I get it from my farmer, he usually gives it to me in this like large slab of frozen fat, and I kind of let it thaw for a few minutes, maybe like 30 minutes. Obviously, don't let it completely defrost, but just enough that you could cut with a sharp knife through it. So I'm going to show you guys what size I cut the beef fat down to so that I can fit it in a Ziploc bag and store it in my fridge. So for me, I kind of just cut it like this, and I don't mind the little meaty bits. I know some people do and they trim it off and they use it for a stew, but I kind of like when the fat is mixed in with meat. So I think that this is a little bit too big for my liking, so I usually will cut these even smaller before I pop them in the air fryer. So let me show you guys about how small I'm talking about. All right, so this is how I store the beef fat in the freezer. But when I'm ready to pop it in the air fryer, I kind of take it out of the freezer maybe 20 minutes before, so it gets a little bit softer, so I can cut it even into smaller pieces. And I kind of just cut like little cube shaped pieces, so maybe a little bit smaller than an ice cube. I mean, depending what size ice cubes we're talking about here. But I find that when the fat is too big, it's kind of too raw on the inside for my liking. So chopping it up into smaller pieces kind of gives it more of like a crispy popcorn texture on the outside, and it's still soft and raw on the inside, but I find it's really the perfect balance. Got the fat chopped up, ready to go in the air fryer. And I just wanted to say that there's a really fine line between making the pieces too small or having them too big. If they're too small, they're just gonna melt away, and you don't want that. And if they're too big, I think that the fat can be a little bit like overwhelming if you're not used to eating so much fat. So I find that this size is really the perfect size to just get them nice and crispy. And yeah, let me show you guys the next step. It's very easy. It's just for 20 minutes in the air fryer at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, whatever I didn't use, I'm gonna go ahead and put back in the freezer. It's not yet defrosted, so it's still good to go in the freezer. Beef fat is in the air fryer, and depending on how much you make, it can take 20 minutes, it can take less. What I usually do is I always check it around 8 to 10 minutes, and I kind of mix it up a little bit in there, put some salt, and then depending on how crispy you want it, you could use your own discretion, but I do find it's at least 15 to 20 minutes. So we're gonna put the lid on. We're gonna select Air Crisp 400, and it's gonna be automatically set to 20 minutes. So it's good to go, and I'll check in with you guys at the halfway mark. It's check-in time, so I'm gonna pause it. Let's take a look. Ooh. So they're not ready in my opinion. I'm just gonna kind of mix them up a little bit. And I am going to add some salt. Where's my salt? 1 second. All right. Add some salt. And I'm gonna pop them in there probably for another 8 minutes, maybe 10. Okie dokie, we are done, and this is what crispy fat looks like. So you can cut it exactly this size, you can cut it a little bit smaller, but it's just the perfect amount of crisp. It's gonna be very delicious. Nothing goes to waste. I'm gonna save this rendered fat and use it for cooking in the future. The finished product, crispy beef fat. You can add this to your protein if you're having a really lean steak, or like I'm having tonight, some beef tongue. This is a great little side to make sure you get your fats in. If you guys like this video, please check out my other videos on the screen. And I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to sharing more recipes with you guys.